You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. This is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and we are going to address a question that we keep getting hit with. We see it on Twitter, we see it in comments, we see it everywhere. So maybe just everybody doesn't know. If you do, we're going to answer it again. And that is, what happened to Brando on GH? Of course, Brando Corbin was played by Johnny Wactor. He had been on the character canvas on the ABC soap for 3 years at the time of his exit. We've got all the information and all the details on what happened to him because at the time of his exit, a lot was not yet known. Be sure to reach down and click that subscribe button before we dig into Brando Corbin's fate and how his passing is still affecting the character canvas on the ABC soap. Now, back in June, actually late July, Johnny Wactor was out of town. He was in New York City, and according to Soap Digest, he was in there to film a movie that he was starring in and producing. That was when he got a call from his manager saying, hey, General Hospital is not going to renew your contract. That was what he knew. And then when he got the scripts, he looked at them and was like, okay, they killed me off. He wrapped up the movie and he went back to GH, got his COVID test, so he had the clearance to get back on set, and he filmed 6 episodes in 2 days, and those were his final episodes. So he left. By all rights, he is truly dead, not soap opera dead where you can bring somebody back, but well and truly dead. So exactly what happened to him? Well, he was the second victim attacked by the Hook killer in Port Charles, but he was the first victim of the Hook to actually die. So how did the first victim survive and Brando died is a huge question. Well, the very first attack happened at the Quartermain picnic, and it was Ava Jerome who was the first one attacked. She was stabbed in the stomach with the hook, and Jocelyn Jacks found her. Dex Heller showed up, and thankfully he knew about combat medic stuff, having served in the military, and they were able to stabilize her and get the bleeding stopped and got her off the General Hospital, and Ava's life was saved. However, the next person was not so lucky, and that was Brando Corbin. Now, the Hook in that case wasn't even after Brando. The Hook was trying to kill Jocelyn Jacks, but Brando just happened to follow Jocelyn out the back of Charlie's pub, and Jocelyn was able to get by. She didn't even know she was at risk. Then the Hook turned on Brando, and he was taken to the hospital. Similar to the case with Ava, everybody thought, oh, we'll patch him up, we'll get the wound stitched up, he'll be okay. But he wasn't. He was not good at all because the Hook had started tainting her weapon with a rare. So he survived long enough to give a statement to Police Commissioner Jordan Ashford and said, I couldn't see them. They were in a hoodie. He said he heard something jingling like bracelets. And then, of course, there was the red herring thing where they showed Dex wearing his jingling dog tags. But Dex was not the Hook killer. We didn't find out for quite a while. And we still personally wonder here at Soap Dirt if the writers hadn't yet decided, and that's why there was no inkling of who it was. We feel like they kind of started this and then decided who it was. It turned out that it was Heather Weber, which made sense because all the killings, for the most part, seemed to surround people that had done Esme Prince wrong. Of course, Esme Prince is Heather Weber's biological daughter, and her father was Ryan Chamberlain, so she has 2 serial killers for parents, and poor Brando Corbin wound up in the mix. It was a day or 2 after his attack that Brando passed away. He had had surgery, and his wife, Sasha Gilmore, had no reason to think that he wouldn't survive, but then they ran a tox screen and figured out that he died as a result of that toxin. There was a whole bunch of red herring stuff going on, but once they figured out it was reptile venom, that made the case even more curious because that was the difference between first victim Ava surviving and second Hook victim Brando not surviving. It was all down to that poison, and as it turned out, Heather had been sneaking out of the Darkham Asylum and doing things, and this was before she got transferred to the lower security prison, and she's back at Darkham now. But she ruined a lot of lives. She killed a lot of people. What also happened to Brando that he was dealing with was he had just come off the ordeal where Sasha had fallen off the wagon and had gotten back onto pills. And you remember she struggled with the addiction before, and that had gotten really bad because of their baby that didn't survive. You remember that Sasha and Brando had a one-night stand, and she turned up pregnant, and they had written it into the soap storyline because actress Sophia Matson was pregnant in real life. What they did, though, was they wrote this very tragic end for their little baby, and he died not long after birth. Sasha was spiraling. Of course, Brando was really sad too, and Sasha went back onto drugs, and Brando had to get her off of that. They went ahead and got married, but everything was very fraught because Sasha had lashed out and had hit someone with her car. She needed a guardianship, and Brando was going to be her guardian. They had done all the paperwork and everything, and then he was murdered. And so the upshot of that is Brando's mother, Gladys Corbin, got the guardianship of her, and that got her access to all of Sasha's money, which was a lot because they took deception public. So Sasha probably had millions in the bank. The downside of Brando being killed off is that he's not there to protect Sasha, and he's not there to rein his mother in. His mother is spiraling in an addiction cycle right now, but her addiction is gambling. So when you wonder what happened to Brando on General Hospital, the answer is they let the actor go. They didn't renew his contract after a 3-year run, and then they made Brando the second victim of the hook and the first one to die. However, actor Johnny Wactor said that he enjoyed his time on General Hospital and he has no hard feelings, that his contract was not renewed, and he has moved on to other projects since then. Reach down and click that subscribe button so you get all your latest General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates from Soap Dirt here on YouTube. Do you remember all this? Did you remember why Brando died? Did you remember the difference between him and the first hook victim? Because it went on for months and months with no resolution and more people dying. Poor Brando was the very first fatality of the latest in a long string of serial killers stalking Port Charles, and we're sure the hook won't be the last.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.